I thought this was going to be the first luxury version of the Rosalie, but I was wrong. One decision made this prototype harder to build than the last prototype. And by the end of making prototype number 2, I knew exactly what the final Rosalie should never become. Every version of the Rosalie begins the same way, with a pattern. There's something exciting about watching a simple piece of paper become the beginning of a handbag. But this build felt different. For the first time, I wasn't cutting faux leather. I was finally cutting into genuine calfskin. This felt like a big step. I've been looking forward to this moment ever since I bought this leather. Calfskin has such a beautiful feel to it. It's smooth, it's refined, and I couldn't wait to see what the Rosalie would look like in genuine leather. And at this point, I really believed that this might be the one. So for this prototype, I decided to go ahead and cut out a piece of leather that would become a front pocket. So I love carrying my phone in the front, and I thought it would be good to put a pocket on the front where you could just slip your phone into it, and that way when you snap the bag closed, it's totally secure, instead of having a pocket directly on the back of the bag. So I started by cutting out the batting that's going to go directly underneath the leather, and underneath that was going to be a layer of padding or foam or stabilizer. So this was that bad decision that I made. I wanted the Rosalie to have structure, not just enough to hold its shape. I wanted it to feel like a luxury handbag the moment someone picked it up. So I ordered this stabilizer, and before it even arrived, I read the reviews, and almost everyone said the same thing, that it was really stiff and they didn't know how they were going to make a handbag with it. But somehow I convinced myself that's exactly what I wanted. And honestly, when I took it out of the bag, I was kind of looking at it like, I don't know how I'm going to sew through this, because it was extremely thick. But I felt like it was going to be a good stabilizer. Like somehow I just thought it was really going to be a good stabilizer for this type of bag. So I started by quilting the front panel and the pocket. And this process is pretty easy. Like all the quilting comes out really nicely done. I use a ruler, and then I use just one of the pattern pieces to just make sure that I make straight lines. So I had no issues up to this point. So I decided to go ahead and add the magnetic snaps to the front of the pocket piece. And I was almost getting a little worried that the prongs on the back of the magnetic snaps wouldn't make it all the way through this stabilizer. But I was able to get the prongs through the thick stabilizer and actually secure the magnetic snaps onto the front pocket. So as I started building each panel, everything looked beautiful so far up to this point. The quilting came out exactly the way I hoped. The magnetic snaps fit perfectly, and each piece looked better than the last. So nothing felt wrong yet. If anything, I was becoming more confident. I had some black cotton fabric, so I just used that to make the lining for the inside of the pocket piece. So I just put the two pieces together and then sewed across the top of the pocket piece, folded it back, and then just top stitched along the top of it and just cut off some of the excess going all around it. So the front little pocket piece turned out lovely. No problems here. I loved it. So I went ahead and just placed it right on top of the front panel. That's going to be the front panel of the bag. And then I just sewed it all the way around, attaching it to the front pocket piece. So after doing all of that, now it was finally time to assemble the bag. I made the back panel and the flap and everything. And that's when almost immediately I could start to feel the difference, especially with this front pocket, because it was 2 layers of that thick stabilizer on the front pocket piece and on the front panel. Beautiful panel. Love the leather. It felt really sturdy and strong. So I just went ahead and just decided to go ahead and cut out the back piece and add some more of the stabilizer to it and go ahead and attach the logo. But instead of working with the leather, it felt like I was fighting it. Every seam was harder to manipulate. So after I got the logo on, which the screws went through pretty good, so everything was good there, even though, like I said, it was pretty thick to get everything through that stabilizer. But I had no issues securing the logo onto the front of the bag. So I decided to go ahead and attach the gusset to the front pocket. And like I said, every seam just felt like it was getting harder and harder to manipulate. So the next machine that I plan to buy is a cylinder arm. I've been doing some research and it really looks like it's a very easy way to construct a handbag. I may need to get that sooner than I think if I'm gonna make all 38 of the Rosalie, because trying to use this stabilizer and this tough calf skin on this sewing machine just was not very easy to manipulate. I've been watching a few videos with people using a cylinder arm, and it's so much easier to put all the panels together with one. So I think I'm gonna have to invest in one really soon, because with that machine, I'll be able to attach all the panels much easier and be able to get into the parts of the bag and sew the seams that are really hard to get to. So once again, everything is turning out lovely. I really like it. I'm about to start attaching the back panel and the flap onto the gusset. And I did cut this stabilizer a 1/2 inch smaller all the way around, assuming that would be enough room to sew and attach all the panels together and leave it out of the seam allowance. But I guess I didn't realize how stiff it really was. Like, this stuff was not moving, like, at all whatsoever. It was stiff as a board. So after I was able to attach the gusset onto the back panel and I finished sewing the entire outer bag, turning the bag inside out took far more effort than it should have. The leather wanted to move naturally, but the stabilizer just wouldn't let it. But this bag wasn't all lessons. Some things actually surprised me. The front pocket, I actually love. It's practical, it adds function, and I think it belongs on future versions of the Rosalie. And then there was the lining. Over the past few weeks, I've been paying close attention to how my linings fit. I wanted them to feel clean, professional, with no extra bulk or sagging. And after making a lining for this little prototype, it actually fit beautifully. One detail I especially love is wrapping the zipper pocket in leather. It's subtle, but those little touches make a bag feel much more premium. So I decided to make a decision. This version ends right here. No D-rings, no chain, no grommets. This one is staying exactly as it is, a clutch. Not because it's a bad bag, because it taught me exactly what I needed to learn. When I compared this genuine leather version to my faux leather prototype, I realized something I never expected. The faux leather prototype felt softer, more relaxed, more comfortable to carry. And that's when it hit me. Luxury isn't just about the structure. Luxury is about how a bag feels in your hands. So moving forward, I'm keeping the front pocket. I'm keeping the leather wrap zipper pocket on the inside of the lining. I'm keeping everything this bag taught me, but I'll be searching for a softer, more supple leather and a stabilizer that supports the bag without taking away from its natural movement. That's the purpose of documenting this whole journey. Not every decision becomes the final bag. Some versions exist to teach you what the final one needs, and this one did exactly that.